Every Dr. Bashir love interest in Star Trek. For 7 seasons of Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, Dr. Julian Bashir was one of the most complex characters in the franchise. Brilliant, charming, occasionally arrogant, and often tangled in romantic complications. While DS9 gave him significant development as a doctor, spy, and friend, it also sprinkled in multiple love interests that ranged from awkward crushes to deep emotional connections. Bashir's romances often said as much about his growth as they did about the people he pursued. Let's take a tour through every on-screen love interest who crossed paths with the station's genetically enhanced chief medical officer. 1. Jadzia Dax, the unrequited beginning. Bashir's earliest and most obvious crush was on Lieutenant Jadzia Dax, the science officer whose centuries of Trill experience made her as intimidating as she was enchanting. In Season 1, Bashir's pursuit of Dax was so blatant that it became a running gag, much to Dax's amusement and occasional discomfort. While she politely dodged his advances, Dax clearly liked him as a friend, even teasing him in a way that showed affection. Bashir's early infatuation was rooted in youthful bravado. He was the new doctor on the station, determined to impress. But Dax was never going to reciprocate. She was more interested in a certain Klingon warrior named Worf. Their dynamic served as an important lesson for Bashir. Not every romantic target is meant to be pursued, and sometimes the better outcome is friendship. 2. Lita, the brief romance. In Season 4, Bashir briefly dated Lita, the cheerful Byron Dabo girl from Quark's Bar. Their relationship was sweet but fleeting. Lita was kind-hearted and clearly liked Bashir, but she also had her own sense of independence. When she realized her growing feelings for Rom, she ended things with Bashir gently. Bashir took the breakup remarkably well, another sign of his growing maturity. It was also a rare instance in Star Trek where a relationship ended without lingering bitterness or drama. 3. Melora Pazler, the first real emotional connection. One of Bashir's earliest serious romantic stories came in the Season 2 episode, Melora. Lieutenant Melora Pazler, a cartographer from a low-gravity planet, arrived on DS9 and immediately pushed back against the accommodations made for her mobility needs. Bashir saw past her defensiveness, connecting with her on a personal level. Their romance developed quickly, but ended just as fast when Melora chose to continue her career of exploration rather than remain on DS9. While short-lived, this relationship was pivotal for Bashir. It revealed his compassionate side beyond the charming facade and showed his ability to connect deeply with someone whose life experience was vastly different from his own. 4. Serena Douglas, the bittersweet love. Serena Douglas was a fellow genetically enhanced individual whom Bashir met in Season 6 Statistical Probabilities. Initially, she was nonverbal and withdrawn due to the effects of her genetic engineering. When she later regained her ability to speak and interact in Season 7's Chrysalis, Bashir developed romantic feelings for her. At first, it seemed like a fairy tale, two people with shared life experiences finding common ground. However, Serena soon realized she wasn't ready for a serious relationship, breaking Bashir's heart. This love story carried a more adult emotional weight, showing how compatibility on paper doesn't always translate to real-world readiness for romance. 5. Ezri Dax, the last and possibly most significant. After Jadzia's tragic death, her symbiont was joined to Ezri Tigan, becoming Ezri Dax. Ezri's arrival in Season 7 brought a whirlwind of unresolved feelings, not only for Worf, Jadzia's widower, but also for Bashir, who had long ago buried his crush on Jadzia. Over the course of the season, Bashir and Ezri grew closer, sharing conversations, adventures, and eventually romantic feelings. By the finale, the two were a couple, offering Bashir a relationship that felt like the culmination of his emotional journey. Ezri knew him well, and he understood her challenges as a young Jordan Trill. This romance hinted at long-term potential, though canon never revealed what became of them after the series ended. 6. Mirror Universe Flings. Alternate Bashir's Wild Side. In DS9's Mirror Universe episodes, alternate versions of characters often displayed exaggerated traits. Mirror Bashir, a scarred freedom fighter, was more rugged and morally ambiguous than his prime counterpart. While his romantic encounters were never essential to the plot, the Mirror Universe's chaotic nature suggested he had more than a few casual flings. These glimpses reminded viewers that under different circumstances, Bashir's charm and confidence might have taken him down very different romantic paths.